Ready? So, we started the podcast at the Chevy store in Savannah, and it went over so well, we decided we was going to try one here at the GMC store in St. Joe. So this is be episode 1, John.
Yep, sounds good.
And today we have John Weinberger. John, if you want to, tell us how you got in the car business, how you got started. And
John Weinberger, new car manager here at Victory GMC St. Joe. Work right along side by side with Mr. Yates over here. As far as the way I got started in this business, I kind of was brought into it. Had never really had any desire or anything to actually be in the car business or anything to do with this, because a lot of people know, over the years, people in this business have just gotten a bad rap. So It was let's see, what was that? Maybe 2014 or 2015. My wife, her family's involved in the car business. They actually Fred Albright, which
so that's how really and truly that's how you kind of got into
that's how I got into it. He was retired for a while, decided to get back up into the car business. I was always I started out, I worked at UPS. I worked there for a little over 20 years. I started there whenever I was in high school. Yeah. And it was one of those things where, I drove a semi truck for them. It was had no intentions of ever leaving them or anything. My father-in-law called us up one day and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting back into the car business. Y'all want to come up and, help me out learn the business."
Where'd you live then?
This was down in Florida. Yeah. So just outside of Tampa down there.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough with 20 years and with UPS, it was in a position where I could leave from them. I had, retirement and all that stuff already. So I figured, why not? You don't get anywhere in life without taking chances, sort of thing. Kind of, like you and how you're where you're at right now with the dealerships. So
if people don't know, Albright, the dealership, Victory GMC now was Fred Albright's. That was Albright GMC. Before that, it was Greg's, but it was Mr. Fred's.
Yep, that is
y'all
correct.
Worked here. How long did Fred own it?
2015, I think, is whenever the store changed hands and he took ownership of it. So it was one of those things where for us to come up here and do this, it was one of those things where I didn't want to. It kind of made me nervous at first, because obviously you come into something like this situation, you might get that, that's the owner's kids sort of thing. They're not going to. So it was one of those things where I made sure, even told him, if we come up here, we do this, no special treatment. I want to learn everything from the store front to back. So it's kind of, I'd say over the past, been up here a total of 9 years now.
Yeah.
In this building, in this store, and it's just been a real whirlwind, just learning a little bit of everything in here front to back. So it's just because I figure whenever you do that, whenever you're coming into the situation like myself did, you gain more respect, that sort of stuff. Whenever you do,
you and Stephanie both kind of learned the car business because she works here too.
Yep.
And because she was never in the car business either until y'all both came.
Yeah. It's surprising how many people don't even realize that we're actually married and that she works in the same store. Yeah. I mean, it's even still to this day, being in the store 9 years, it's pretty funny because people come in, they're like, "So hang on a second, y'all's last name are the same. So how are y'all related?" So it's funny how many people still get a little chuckle out of that.
And it's a funny story back when we bought Albright from Mr. Fred. The stipulation was, there's nothing to hide.
Nope.
We had to keep you and Stephanie for a year.
Sure. Yep.
And that way y'all would have a place until y'all decided what y'all was going to do. If y'all was going to go back to Florida, if you're going to stay here, whatever you want to do. And here we are
2 years
later. Yeah. And I remember the day that was in August, I think. What was the day? I know you know the date.
Yeah, whatever. You were always chuckling like, "Yep, hey, that clock's counting down.
I got about 10 more days with these two, and then I can kick them back to the Florida or wherever they want to go."
That's right.
But I will say this, since I'm glad y'all did stay. And,
I am too.
And as I always tell Eric, and I tell everybody, even customers, I tell them, I go, "Man, they're two of the best employees that I've ever had." I mean,
sure, I appreciate that.
Yeah, because, to me, you got in and to me, like your wings kind of went and spread out, and you learn. And since day one, since we got here, you said, I want to learn everything. And so Stephanie's grown a lot in the finance office. And I mean, it's been really, really good. And I'm glad to have both of you here. And we love the dealership here, and we love all the employees here. But I will say it is good to have both y'all here.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm very thankful for, y'all. Obviously you didn't, you could have said, we don't really need you. We don't want you. But it meant a lot to us saying that y'all actually, you want us to stay, that sort of thing. So, I mean, it really did mean a lot.
And we will get Stephanie up here and have a podcast before it's over. She was kind of the face of Albright. She did the commercials and everything. So. People still ask me now, I said, where's that girl that was on that commercial? She still work there? I go, oh, yeah, she's here.
Yeah, it was a love-hate thing with the commercials, because no matter where we would go, if we go out, because St. Joe's a small town. St. Joe's a real small town. Yeah. We go out somewhere to eat or something, every time we'd sit down, hey, aren't you that girl that's on the TV? And she's just like, oh, good Lord. So I know one time it was up there at Buffalo Wild Wings, and they have that real big, huge screen on the wall. So sitting up there, and unfortunately, I wish we were sitting in there to eat, but we were getting takeout, and I was getting some takeout to take back to the house. And here comes commercial on there. Stephanie, 10 feet tall on this big old screen on there. I wish nothing more than she would have been in there with me, because she would have just been. That would have been so funny, because
she didn't really like being on TV, did she?
She didn't like it. She didn't hate it. It wasn't her first choice, sort of thing.
Dad kind of wanted her to
do it. But I mean, it really did well, because she's got a face and a haircut that everybody remembers, Yeah. So, I mean, no matter where we go, even still to this day, even though she, not in front of the camera as much as what it was, still, but we still go out and they're like, didn't you used to do TV commercials, or aren't you the one that was on TV for that car store?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's sort of like me with the billboard. Hey, you that guy on that billboard? I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what would you say is the biggest difference now than when it was 2 years ago, as far as business, how business is, and the way we conduct business?
So I think it's huge having the multiple stores, being able to pull inventory from. I mean, it really is hard for a mom and pop store anymore, I feel like, unless you got multiple stores where you can pull all that inventory. But just having so many options is just huge. I mean, there's, we have so many options for customers. It doesn't matter what brand, what type of vehicle. I mean, it don't matter. They want a semi-truck, we get them a semi-truck. I mean, it's just having all these options and everything it's amazing. I mean, that's also what helped me grow, because it's opened up different doors, different avenues for different types of business that, I normally wouldn't have had.
Yeah. So in the new car business, because you are the new car man, let's discuss, what do you think that as far as like incentives and things like the inventory, how inventory is compared to when COVID was? Before, you couldn't get nothing. Everybody always asked. The big thing everybody asks is, man, can you get any inventory now? Can you get everything? So kind of fill us in on how that's going right now.
Yeah, so inventory is starting to come back a little bit. GMC they have come out with a couple, I won't say new models, but they've refreshed some of the models. So those are pretty hot items right now, like the Acadia.
The new Acadia that I delivered. The Acadia is
just on fire. Yeah, I mean, they're an amazing. They did a amazing job on the
screen
redesign.
On that thing is like a TV in there.
It's like 2 iPads put together.
That is true.
Huge. Yeah, I mean, it's gigantic. The interior is just, I mean, it's just rich. That's the only way I can describe it. I mean, it's so nice.
When you sit down in a new Acadia right now, the interior feels like that it's the most luxurious vehicle I've ever sat in before. I mean, we've had Cadillacs. I mean, used to be a Cadillac dealer here, but this is kind of, they've took it over the top with the interior. Yeah. I'm telling you, it is unreal. So
they did an amazing job. And then not only that, they've added the Super Cruise, which to the Acadia, which is
scary to me, because I try it all the time. And I mean, it's okay, but I mean, man, you want to grab that steering wheel. But it will actually, when I delivered that Acadia to Iowa, I hit 35 going north, and I just hit Super Cruise, and it's amazing. Weaves in and out of traffic, and I mean, it is unreal.
Yeah, it does. It does a really good job. Yep. I hate even admitting this, but just being super busy, haven't had time to drive one. I've recently drove one now with Super Cruise, and yeah, I mean, I was pretty blown away with how good it works.
And what all can you get Super Cruise on now?
So you can get the Super Cruise on the Acadia, Denali trim levels.
Trucks,
half tons. So everybody always asks the heavy duties, why can't I get Super Cruise on the heavy duties? Well, the reasoning behind that is because the heavy duties, they have much stronger, heavy dutier components, for lack of a better term. The Acadias, your half tons, they have an electronic assist steering on them. So that's why they're able to add the Super Cruise to that. So if you put, more electric motors, things like that for the steering in the heavy duties, it may not be as heavy duties.
And as of right now, you cannot get Super Cruise on the heavy duty.
No, sir. You can get, which a big thing is on these 24s, they now have adaptive cruise control that's available on them. Yep. And just that alone, that's big.
I've used it before. And I mean, when you come up on a vehicle, it'll actually start slowing you down. You don't realize it till you look down at the speed option like, dang, I'm going 50.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. That's right.
So, yeah.
It's kind of a nice feature because, if I'm a cruise control user and it does kind of get annoying if you're having to, tap the brake, cancel the cruise control, reset it. Well, with the adaptive cruise, you don't have to do that. It does it all on its own.
Availability on vehicles now as far as like a half-ton pickup?
Half tons is getting very good. I mean, we've got a great selection of them. I mean, we're getting more in weekly. Yeah. Weekly. I mean,
a lot coming.
Yeah. We got a lot coming.
Last week the orders was good. Yeah. HDs
are doing well. They're getting better. It used to be 6, 7, maybe even 8 months to get one if you put an order in now. So obviously we have some stock here at the store that's available, but if we did have to order one, I'd say you're 3 months, 4 months. We're getting back to the way it was.
Unless there's a constraint on something, then you can't get it in that time.
Correct.
A lot of people don't realize that when you put your orders in on, which is Thursday, when we figure out what allocation we have.
Yeah.
We can put an order in there. If somebody wants to order, we can put it in there, but you only they may have something on constraint. You can't get 20-inch wheels this week. You may not be able to get a Duramax this week. You may have to order a gas truck.
I mean, it could even be a Denali. Like, let's say
can't get a Denali this
week we may have 4 that we can build out, but they say, we need 3 Denalis, but they're only giving us 4 AT4s and only 1 Denali. So
but overall, they're spitting them out pretty quick now. And if you order a vehicle right now, I mean, it is getting here really, really quick.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Very, very, very quick. Yukon XL.
Yukons, yep, because those are built right down in Arlington, Texas. Yep. So, I mean, as soon as they're built, we usually get once it's accepted for production, it's usually built within 30 days or so of that, and then it just goes right on a train and straight up to Kansas City. Yeah. So they usually get here fairly quick.
Yep, that's good. I mean, we've fought it for so long. Yep. So, but it's good that inventory is getting back where it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Rebates, discounts. I mean, what do we have now? I mean, so I know the other day I seen a thing that you ran the other day was like 10 or 11, 12 grand off a half-ton pickup.
Yep, that's exactly right. We're going to be running very similar ad to that this week, or this month, I should say, because surprisingly, we're starting to get some rebates again. Hopefully those stay there. For example, like, you've got a trade assist of $2,500 on half tons.
What's that mean?
So trade assist means if you've got a 2010 or newer, this is money General Motors is giving you. $2,500 to trade it in. Yep. And then there's also, that's on any half ton with a 5.3 liter engine in it. So any other half tons, there's also there's a loyalty rebate. So if you own a Buick or GMC, there's a $2,500 rebate there, so that you actually don't have to trade in. You just have to own one.
So I would probably say out of all the things that we're getting a lot of, half-ton Sierras is probably the best.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, and that's probably got the most discount on of everything.
Yep, sure does, without a doubt.
And I think, I don't know this, but as inventory becomes more and more available, I think they would throw some more rebates at this. Yukons, whatever, but they're selling so fast. I mean, we basically sell our inventory every month, except the half-ton pickups. We are getting more and more of them, but I mean, basically we sell our whole inventory every month.
Yep, without a doubt. Yeah. Without a doubt.
We started a podcast up in Savannah. I think it's doing really, really good. Like we said earlier, the things that I took out of that podcast was how we treat our customers. Mm-hmm. Would you say that the same scenario and the same mindset here at the GMC store is the same at all the stores like Savannah?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the customer comes first. Yep. I mean, on everything. I mean, y'all always try to take care of the customer, no matter what. I mean, it don't matter what it takes. Just try to make sure that they're happy.
Yep.
because as you know, you got to look at a customer. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they're worth $1 billion. You know, even if you only make $1 on them.
Yeah.
You know, on a car deal or selling them a part or service or anything, because they're worth an unlimited amount of money, because all they're going to do is tell their friends how good they were treated, how easy it was. Their friends are going to tell their friends, almost like a Facebook post. You know, you post something up, that one person likes it, then somebody shares it. Now all the people that seeing it, sharing it.
So it's sort of like that. I was telling Derek on the last podcast that, I mean, we absolutely make sure that the customer comes first. I mean, it's a running joke. I always tell everybody, if the customer gets to me, you might as well go ahead and take care of them to begin with, because if it gets to me, then we're going to take care of them. So,
for sure.
And it never really does get to me unless somebody knows me and they go, hey, we got a little problem here. Like I said before, we're not perfect. We're never going to be perfect. We make mistakes, and I think since you and Steph stayed, and I think Mr. Fred had the same thing to take care of customers, everything. And I think that just kind of transferred over to where we're at now.
Yeah, it definitely carried over. So that was what made it, you know, a good transition as well.
Absolutely.
Because nothing, it was seamless. Nothing was dropped. Nothing was like started over sort of thing in that aspect of it.
So I know you just went on vacation. Where'd you and Steph go?
So went down to Florida. Hadn't actually been down there in almost 9 years.
Really?
Yeah. So, you know, high school friends and whatnot that hadn't seen in a long time. They're always bugging me to come back down there and everything. So it was fun. It was a quick little trip. I mean, a lot of driving.
You drove, didn't you?
Yeah, I drove, and this goes right back to me, you know, just always trying to look for the next car deal or customer, helping somebody out. I actually drove a truck down there and swapped out a friend of mine that we trade with every year. So yeah, it worked out really good doing that as well. But I mean,
stayed at Fred's house.
It was, I'll tell you, you know, going back down there through Tampa and whatnot, maybe the small town starting to sink in and get to me, man, because that traffic was just terrible. I mean, it was bad whenever I lived down there, but it's 10 times worse than what it was.
So it's changed a lot.
Oh yeah, it's changed. It hasn't changed, like a lot of the same stuff's still there, but you can tell there's definitely a lot more people down there. So
as far as like back on the taking care of the customer part here, would you say that everybody kind of has the same mindset?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's one of those things where, you know, even our salesmen and whatnot that are down there, I mean, they want to see everything through, I mean, helping their customers, even getting them into service and everything. Sometimes it does make a little bit of confusion, but we tell them, you know, guys, you gotta let the service fellas, you know, we know you want to be involved with your customer and do an excellent job and everything, but you know, we got to let the service fellas take care of some things for them, you know.
I would probably say, nothing against when it was Albright. I would probably say one of the biggest things that I think in the past 2 years that you have changed is it's kind of, you've kind of made the transition of, man, we're going to take every car deal. If somebody comes in here to buy a car, unless something drastic happens, they're going to leave in a car.
Yeah. It goes back to, you know, obviously this is the only store I've ever been in, you know, and I've learned everything in this store, everything that I've learned about the car business. So it's just it's two totally different mindsets on how to do business. And actually I kind of like that, because it lets me see both sides and the advantages of both sides of doing it. Yeah. Now, you know, man, we don't miss car deals unless it's just something that's just 100% doesn't, you know, off the wall. We don't miss car deals. I mean,
if you come in here to buy a car, I mean, unless something happens, you're going to leave in a car.
Yep. 100%.
If we can't find, it's like Friday, somebody said, hey, I need a XT6. So I got online, found them. XT6 is here. We're delivering it today. Just that quick, and today is Tuesday. So we got it here, bought it in Michigan, got it here in time. So if somebody wanted to come by here and we don't have what you want, we can get online and find it in about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Chances are we will have something within one of our stores.
Yeah.
And
we can grab cars from Smithfield, Savannah, Paola, anywhere, and bring them up here if somebody wants it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I would say that's probably the biggest change I've seen compared to when it was Albright in here, is because, I mean, and I've watched you and Steph the whole time just kind of grow and go, wow, we're taking everything now, which is totally different than it was.
Yeah. Yep. It is 100%. And it's, you know, I enjoy it. I just enjoy the fast pace.
Yeah.
And having, it's just constant, nonstop all day long. I mean, makes the days go by quick. Get you back home. Not that I got a lot of stuff to do at home. Other than I go home and take care of the yard work, man. I'm that guy.
You're saying you're boring?
Yeah, I'm 100% boring. I'm that guy in my neighborhood that that's what I look forward to every day. Whenever I get to leave out of here, I look forward to going home and getting my stripes put in my yard and that sort of stuff. I'm that guy in the neighborhood.
I would say probably the funniest thing, because we've never had a husband and wife work at one of the dealerships. And the funniest thing is to watch. It's like when you and Steph walk in the door in the morning, it's like you kind of go your separate ways. And it's like your husband and wife, but it takes, I mean, I've listened to you and her work a car deal, and y'all kind of jaw back and forth and kind of get into each other, but it's not like husband and wife. It's like a new car manager and a finance manager, which is so funny. And I always pick on you. I go, you better do whatever she says, because you fix to go home in a little while.
Right.
She's going to make it hard on you.
I'm still waiting to hear about it on the shirt, my shirt choice for today. Didn't even know we were doing this up here today. I figured I was going to be getting picked on about that.
Well, she does pick your shirts out in the morning. She tells me that.
Kind of like you. I've seen your wife wearing your wife's jeans in here occasionally.
No, I do not. I don't wear my wife's jeans. But anyway, well, I think it's been a pretty good. I hope everybody understands that. So one more question though.
Yeah.
You got Chevy at Savannah, just right up the road there.
Yep.
Tell me, what do you think the difference is between a Chevy? You think they're the same vehicle? Chevy and a GMC. Everybody says totally different. Motor, transmission.
Engine, transmission. Your drivetrain's going to be the same. They run down the same. They run down the same assembly line. I think the biggest thing between the two, the only way I can think of describe it, I've said this a million times. Nothing against Chevy. Chevy's a great vehicle. I've had multiple Chevys in my lifetime. The GMC just tends to be a little bit more refined. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. The other thing I think too is the chrome.
Yeah.
So the Chevrolets, a lot of those are going to have the color match bumpers. Whereas, like, let's say if the guys like the chrome, they usually tend to go with an SLT GMC, because you got the chrome bumpers, that chrome grill, the wheels and everything.
People ask me all the time, says, man, I have had a Chevy and I bought a GMC. Man, the GMC just seems like it's quieter, it rides better. And I go,
yeah,
it's probably all up here, because they're literally the same vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Now sometimes I think, if I'm driving like a GMC, to me, sometimes it may be that the inside is a little quieter. And I've asked people, and they like, yeah, nope, it's the same. I always thought, man, they put extra insulation in there to make it quieter, everything. But, I don't know. They say they don't, but sometimes it seems different.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's until you don't, I guess, notice the little things. They don't really stand out. Till you go, let's say you go from a Chevrolet to a GMC, or vice versa. Mm-hmm. That's, after you drive one for a little while, that's where you start noticing difference. I mean, I've been driving GMCs. That's all I've been driving since 2009. So, I mean, I haven't really driven a Chevy much. I drove nothing but Chevys till 2009, switched to GMC. Stephanie, we got her a GMC. I should say she got her a GMC. She does her own thing.
That's exactly right.
John don't buy nothing for Stephanie.
That's exactly
she
right.
Does
don't
her
get
own
the game
things.
twisted on that.
Nope. So she got a GMC, and then that's kind of all that we've been doing since then. Just kind of I don't know, fell in love with the GMC.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Well, it's been a good podcast. I hope people learned something. And if somebody comes in, John, or if they decide they want, hey, I want a brand new GMC, they can come in here and ask for you, and you take good care of them.
Absolutely.
Yep. Order a vehicle if they want to order something, if they want to just shoot the breeze.
Next time you're out somewhere in public, if you don't have my phone number, just ask some random person, because I know you've probably given my cell phone number out to damn near everybody in Northwest Missouri.
That's true.
But
that is true.
If you don't have it, somebody near you is going to have my phone number.
That is true.
So,
I just say, hey, call John.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate it. It's been good.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoyed it.
Yep.
Thanks.
Enjoyed it.